Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. Today we're going through the Dead by Daylight patch notes for the Walking Dead crossover. Alright, let's get into it. New survivor, Rick Grimes. Unlocking a chest or rummaging through 2. Press the ability for 8 seconds to a broken pallet. Fragile. See the aura of broken pallets within 32 meters. Oh, it's right being dropped. So it seems that will just be a anniversary pallet from the event. You drop it, I would assume it stuns a killer, you miss it, it just breaks and you get hit anyway. Not terrible. Makes sense to me. Unhooking, crouch and idle, press the active ability to make injured and dying survivors within 24 meters leave no scratch marks or pulls the blood for 15 seconds. You scream the killer, she's your aura for 5. So you help injured and dying teammates near you, and you become the target. I mean, yeah, come and get me. That makes complete sense. Okay. So I've been another survivor pallet stuns or blinds you are while you are injured and within 24 meters. Your grunts of pain, scratch marks, and pulls of blood are reduced by 100% for 30 seconds. So if you're injured, you're playing for a flashy save, that'll help you a lot. To be completely quiet while injured and stuff, that's great. That's honestly gives you a good spot, especially if you're not running like Iron Will or whatever. That helps you out a bunch. New survivor, Michonne Grimes. If you killed one survivor while down with at least 25% recovery, press ability button 2 to recover instantly. So you get up, okay? You gain broken, so you can't be healed, and then downed after 30 seconds. That's not... Honestly, I kind of like that. If you run the power struggle build, and you get down but slugged, and you just can't crawl anywhere, because there's no pallet, stand up, run for 30 seconds, go down underneath a pallet, recover, and use power struggle. Not terrible. Or if you can run to a teammate to heal you. But I wonder if you can use it with plot twist. You go down, you pick yourself up, you run and plot twist before the 30 seconds if you'll stand up full health or not. That I feel like that'd be very situational. It would work, but certain situations I feel like it just wouldn't be the best. It's a cool concept. After spending 60 seconds in the killer's territory when not in chase, when you fast vault, stun the killer for 3 seconds if they're within 2.5 meters. The perk is disabled for the rest of the trial. That's fair. So if you're getting... But I mean, that's kind of hard to do. As soon as you get in the first chase after spending that time, you're just going to lose the perk immediately. I feel like the best thing to do is kind of have it like 95% of the way. And if you're on like Death Hook, and you take a chase, that would actually be really good for like maybe anti-tunnel. You're getting tunneled and you're on Death Hook. When you have that, you stun them for 3 seconds. That'll help you a decent bit. But it's a one and done kind of deal. That's where it's just you do nothing for 60 seconds while in the killer's terror radius, unless you're on a gen and they're chase. If you're on a gen, they're chasing somebody, all right, but for only once, maybe I'd say maybe twice, but once it's a cool idea, but it's useless if it's a one and done kind of deal. And a lot of perks already like that anyway, but still. You pallet stun or blind the killer. Teamwork throwdown. When you pallet stun or blind the killer, other injured survivors in 24 meters gain endurance to see the killer's aura for 10 seconds. I think I know what the new meta perk is going to be. That's real pallet stun or blind. That's really good. There's been plenty of times when I've been in chase and there's an injured guy nearby because I won't be injured. And if you other injured, do I have to be injured for it? It doesn't specify, but if there's been plenty of times if I'm not injured, the killer will drop chase for the injured guy. But if they're within 24 meters, endurance and killer's aura for 10 seconds, that's going to be insanely strong, I imagine. The Executioner buffed up, it looks like. Increased punishment of the dam's range to 10 meters was 8. Okay, so yeah, they did rework his items, I'm assuming, by the range stuff. Yep. Okay. They reworked a bunch. Increased maximum right to judgment duration. 10 seconds was 5. Okay. Increased lifetime. Trail lifetime to 90 seconds was 75. Okay. I could see that. Decreased right to judgment movement speed to 4.2 was 4.4. Understandable. Inputs for right to judgment. Damned descending started the cage now can be held, starting the action as soon as it becomes available. That's good. They added the haste and endurance to the cage. That's good. A lot of tunneling people would play Pyramid Head just to avoid that, because if you cage them before, you didn't have it. So that's a good change. I like that. Increase the blood points for rescuing a survivor. A cage. The 2,000 was 550. Okay. I don't really know about the blood point score, but I don't know why it doesn't make sense to me why they upped it, but maybe there's something behind that. Reworked. Now increases punishment of the dam's range by 25 and decrease its width. So it's longer, but not as wide. Okay. Rework now increases right to judgment recharge rate by 10. That's good. A lot of people, before I know the community was complaining that most of his add-ons were just range add-ons that were viable, really. Now decreases the range, but increases its width. So it's the opposite of lead ring. It's lead ring, but lead. I'll say lead ring. Copper ring now increases max duration of right to judgment by 5 seconds. Was 1 second. Okay, so they upped it by a lot. Cinderella music box rework now decreases punishment of the dam's cooldown by 10. Good. Rework. Forgotten videotape rework now increases the speed at which punishment of the dam travels by 10%. So it'll move faster. Okay. Wax stall now increases punishment of the dam's range by 5%. So they was 12 points. So they backed it up because base kit, it's already been buffed. Does that make sense? Rework now reveals the aura the rescuer and survivor save from a cage for 8 seconds. That's good. Rework now decreases duration of stuns while using rights of judgment by 15. That makes sense. Now causes right of judgment trails to inflict exhausted for 10. That's going to be really good, I imagine. Now increases terror for 2 meters for each survivor affected by torment. Not terrible. You could pair it with other terror radius things, but he already has like Trail of Torment as his perk anyway, so it makes him completely undetectable. Now reveals the aura of survivors within 3 meters for 6 seconds upon missing a punishment of the damned attack. Okay. That would be really good to just hit through walls. A lot of Pyramid Head players use aura reading perks just for that anyway. Undetectable using Rights of Judgment. That's really good. Misty Day. Remains of Judgment. Rework. Now reveals the auras of survivors injured by punishment of the damned for 8 seconds. Another really good one. You just send another shot immediately. Scarlet Egg rework. Now causes survivors inflicted by torment to spawn Rights of Judgment trails when they sprint. That's gonna be kind of crazy, honestly. Rust Colored Egg now causes punishment of the damned hits to replenish Rights of Judgment charge by 30. That makes sense. That's not terrible at all. Now causes survivors injured by punishment of the damned to become oblivious for 80 seconds. So that makes it to where they can't hear heartbeats. So that's really good. Obsidian Gauntlet now allows punishment of the damned to destroy pallets and breakable walls. Increases punishment of the damned cooldown by 20. Okay, so now his power can actually destroy stuff if you run that. I just played against one of those. I think it's a Eerie add-on, if I'm not mistaken. There's an iridescent. So now decreases punishment of the damned range by 50%. Punishment of the damned range increases by creating Rights of Judgment trails up to a maximum of 200%. This resets and punishment of the damned hits a survivor. Okay. And the clown. He got changed as well. I just played against one. Haste of his yellow bottle up by 2% to 12. Increase the spread of after peaks antidote gas clouds. So they spread out his yellow bottle more. Decrease the time it takes after peaks gas clouds to activate. So before, if you put against Clown, the smoke was white and then it turned yellow. So now instead of the 2 seconds, it'll only be 1, so he can use it much quicker. Okay. Decrease the hindered effect of Afterpeace Tonic to 12 was 15. So you don't get as slowed because they buffed his yellow gas, so that makes sense. Increase the hinder effect's linger time from Afterpeace Tonic gas clouds, so 1 was 2. Same thing. Buffed his yellow, slightly nerfed his purple. Increase movement speed of reloading to 2.3 was 1.61. That's really good. Kind of stay in chase slightly better because he's not as slow. Made one of his add-ons base kit where decreases your reload, so he's a bit more base kit for reload. Now be held starting the action as soon as it becomes available. Now you can hold it instead of having to actually wait. I mean, okay, that's also good. Add-ons, bunch of rework, I'm assuming. Yep. I can't say that. Now increase the size and spread of the gas clouds by 10%. Okay. Solvent Jug now increases integration by 0.05. They nerf that a little bit. Alaska Bleach now increase the ender penalty for intoxication by 2% was 4. So if you use that, you intoxicate them, it just puts it back to what it was before. No, it'll put it at 14, so it doesn't put it at what it was before, which is that. Never mind. Increases movement speed by 15 was 66. Okay, since they buffed his base movement speed anyway, I get that. Now increase invigoration effect by 1% was 2. Makes sense because it was buffed. Now increase invigoration by 2 was 3. Makes sense because he was buffed it. Now reveals auras within 6 meters was 16. Same thing. Because he got buffed, so they had to do a bunch of tweakage to because they made a lot of it base kit anyway. Increase the duration of intoxication by 0.5 was 1. Same thing because it got changed. Now increase duration of integration by 1 was 2. Same thing because all this stuff happened. So they had to dial back a good bit of his add-ons due to the behavior making most of the base kit anyway. That makes sense. The pig got buffed pretty decently. Increase ambush movement speed, so now she ambushes quicker. That's really good, honestly. Yeah. Increase crouch movement speed to 4 meters a second was 3.8. Ever since I first started playing the game, this was everyone's biggest complaint about the pig, of how slow she was when she first came out. Like, everyone complained that she was so slow when she crouched, so almost nobody crouched while playing the pig, I've noticed. Decreases the time it takes to crouch and uncrouch to 0.8 was 1. So it's slightly faster by 20%. That's really good. A lot of people also complained. Increase the rate at which the terror rate is phased and crouching to 0.33 was 0.25. Another good change. A lot of people complained about that as well. Inputs for crouching ambush can now be held starting it. Okay, same thing they did for Pyramid Head and Clown. You can hold it now. It increases blood points. I don't know, to be honest. Maybe there was something behind it with the data. I don't really know why they were doing that, but survival points now objective. That makes sense. You're trying to survive. Alright, and now since they buffed her, they dialed back some of the add-ons like they've been doing. Increases crouch movement speed by 5 was 10. Increased the base kit. Increased ambush speed by 3 was 6. Increased time to charge ambush by 10 was 33. Same thing, because it was base kit, so they dialed it back. Or decreased miss ambush that cooldown was 10%. So what's the point of this one, then? There must have been another thing for this, because this is the only thing they did. Must have been like a dual ability kind of add-on. The Knight. They buffed the Knight. Whenever I'm on anybody on like TikTok, I've seen people complain that the Knight was overpowered or they just don't like him. I've never had any issues with how he is. I don't think he's overpowered. He's just there. I've never had problems. People have been they've complained a lot, I've heard. Let's see. Increase the patrol length to 38 was 32. Okay. Increase creation speed to 15 meters a second was 13.8. So you can put down trails faster. Increase patrol path acceleration by 2x. Not a big deal to me. Increase strafe speed while creating a patrol path to 100% was 25. That's gonna be good. Increase the standard spawn time of Carnifex to 8 was 5. 4 was 5. 4 was 10. I think when I saw Dead by Daylight talked about this right before they actually made the official patch notes, they wanted the 2 ones that really chase you to take a bit longer, I think it was. They said something about a double hit situation. They talked about it at some point, I thought, but maybe not. Like in the unofficial patch notes, they said something about it. By 4 meters was 10, 7 to 16. Because they increased it, so they backed it up. By 40 was disabled. I don't, honestly, I have no clue what this means. I've never really played Oni. I think the only time I played him was to get his Adept. I have no clue what this means. Alright, that's the Fog Vial. Rusty scratch marks and ores and decreasing visibility and audible sounds in this radius recharge. So I played a game. It's just like the Halloween one, except you can see through it much easier. But it's only 33% opacity. You can see through it much easier than you could the Halloween event ones, the blue ones that they had. And it's just like a white gray smoke. It's not terrible because it hides your aura and scratch marks. So that's actually really good. And it recharges. It's not like a one and done, you throw on the ground and get another one. It does recharge. And then different levels that you obtain through the blood web, it just buffs like the recharge time, how long it lasts, and the maximum size after whatever. So the default one, the brown one, is 2 seconds. So, you know, just looks like a ball. Lasts for 8 seconds and stuff like that. I mean, it's not terrible at all. It's just that's how they did it. And then they gave it add-on. So decreases recharge by 5, decreases expansion by 1, increase the lifetime by 2, increase max size by 2 meters, decrease visibility and sounds in the fog. So I think it's a good item. It's just like the event one from Halloween. Just a new item. Keys. Keys and maps both got changed. They were reworked. So the way it works now is that you get 6 charges on a key. Every charge does something. So if you want to open a locked chest, you can use a key to quickly open the chest. Common or higher. And it consumes a charge. It guarantees you an item of rare or higher, which is good. And if you unlock a chest with a key, it reveals its aura and yell to other survivors in range. Another survivor can rummage through the unlocked chest, which also guarantees an item of rarity or higher. While performing the rummage action, the rummaging survivor's aura appears to the key holder. So if you want to know where your teammate is, that if he's going through your chest or not, and you can see that he is. And then charges for the hatch. You no longer lose the key. It's just like before, somewhat. So once you get out and leave, it just consumes the charge of the key, but you actually get to keep your key instead of losing it, which is really good. And then they did there's brown keys now. They changed it to common, uncommon, rare. They changed it up. And they made it to, you know, higher the rarity, the different it gets. So you can see the aura survivor within 48 meters for 8 seconds, 6 charges. Survivors for 56 meters, 9 seconds. Can unlock chest and hatch. The broken key cannot... You can still unlock a chest with it, but it's not the quick unlock as stated above. To quickly open it. You can't do that with the broken key. I found out the hard way because I didn't know that. But then you can unlock the chest and hatch with the key, 5 charges. Same thing, skeleton key. Kept 64 meters for 10. Unlock chest and hatch, but it has 1 more charge than the dual key. Which is good because that's what they did. And a lot of the key add-ons have been retired. So they are out of the game. Just like if you played early Dead by Daylight when they had the moon bouquets, where it changed the lighting of the map. Those got retired, so those are gone forever as well. All right, and these key add-ons. Increase the key's charges by 1. Increases time to channel a key. Duration. Oh, obsession yourself. Both see each other's auras at all times. That could be really good for playing with a friend that's a obsession. This key reveals the killer to you and you to the killer. So that's like an object, like object of obsession back in the day where you could just see each other when you looked at each other. Reduce aura revealed by 6. Reduce number of charges by 2. Okay. And the map, same thing. It's a charge-based thing to where you can see windows and pallets within meters with charges. Every time you use it, it's a charge. And the more you get, well, the higher the rarity, the more you get out of it. So 24, 32, 40. So it goes up by 8 every time and then up by 2. Time and then up by 1 charge as well. Event. So same thing. So up by 8 for the meters. This stays the same, but it causes pools of blood beneath you. It has 8 charges. Okay. Yeah, and here's all the key and map add-ons they retired that I was saying. So those are out of the game now. And they buffed a bunch of survivor and killer perks. Not really a bunch. Sidious now only takes 1 second to activate while standing still instead of 2. Hubris, you're now exposed for 30 after a stun instead of the 20. Dragon's Grip, cooldown to 30 was 40. Increased aura reading range to 16 was 12. They reworked Overwhelming Presence, which I'm going to... This is a very oppressive perk if you're using it as killer. Probably a top pick. When a survivor starts using an item within 32 meters, they gain exhausted for 15 seconds. When a survivor within 32 meters of you gains exhausted, you see the closest exhausted survivor for 4 seconds. That's insane. And it's only a 25-second cooldown, so you can just spam that throughout the game. This will either... I have a feeling after this comes out fully, one of these values will be changed. I'm assuming. Frankie's is being changed. Just going back to how it was. You can see the item more, the aura reading, to 64 meters. But now it no longer loses charges. So it'll be like old Frankie's when it first came out. You only dropped the item, but you didn't lose charges, and you had to go pick it up. So it's like that again. Potential energy no longer requires the minimum time spent preparing to activate. Was 8 seconds. So potential energy, for those who don't know, is you had to get on a gen uninterrupted for 8 seconds to store charges. And you could use those charges on a different gen. Decreases the amount of repair required to earn a token to 1 was 1.5. So you earn the charges quicker, like to earn the tokens. And you don't have to sit there and wait. Really good. And then decrease the time it takes to raise a pallet by 1 second. So they decrease all the values by 1. Okay. It's alright. Most people don't use any means anyway. I like to use it. It's just fun, but a lot of people don't. Alright, better together. The aura of the gen you're repairing no longer has a range limit. Increase the duration of the survivor aura reading to 30. So they tripled it. Yeah, 10 to 30, so that was tripled up. Increase the time it takes to activate to 2 was 4. Still sight, I don't remember. It came with one of the newer people. You had to stand still and you could see like gens and stuff around you. So instead of standing still for 4, it's only 2. It's pretty good. Built to last. I love built to last with toolboxes. But now you only have to get in for 8 seconds instead of the 12 at tier 3. It's pretty good. Appraisal, increased number of tokens to 4 was 3. Each can now be rummaged twice. Appraisal is Elodie's perk. So now you can rummage 4 times instead of 3, but now each chest can be rummaged twice instead of the old once. So that pretty good change, I like it. Streetwise. First time you deplete an item with charge, you see the killer's aura for 8 seconds. Items with charges retrieved from chest have plus 60, 70, 80. So that's for different tiers. That was good. So they changed it because before it just your efficiency of the item was increased by like 33% or something like that. So you could use it for longer. But now if you get it from a chest, an item from a chest, it'll have extra charges at 80% extra charges at tier 3. I wonder how that looks. I'll play Nia to see how that looks after I open a chest. Detective's Hunch. Increased aura reading to aura reading duration to 20 was 10. Maps no longer track revealed objects. It's not terrible. decent change. Deja vu maps no longer attract revealed gens. Okay, so they didn't really touch it. Hooks. When you only have 2 survivors remain, letting 2 struggle skill checks pass without any input will immediately skip the sacrifice. Okay, I like that. So if it's you and a duo, and you're on Hook and your duo is playing for Hatch, if you miss 2 skill checks, you immediately get sacrificed instead of having to wait for more. Not bad. Presets increased to 7 from... It used to be... It's at 3 on the live build right as of the moment. Players can use a drop down to choose they want to use. There's a drop down, and you can also name it. So you hover over it, you press enter, and you just backspace it, and then name it whatever. And there you go. Good change. A lot of people like that. Loadout and cosmetic presets remain separated. Okay. Custom stuff. I don't play custom games, but I'll let you read it. Gameplay area expansion. Yeah. Okay. And then other issues. I'll just let you read it. All right, and that is all of the patch notes for Dead by Daylight this update. I mean, it seems pretty good. Let's see. This is the dev update where they talked about the night. I'll show you the reason they decided to change him. We made it feel snappier and extend its range slightly, making Call to Arms partially base kit. We also adjusted standard spawn times for each card. In particular, the standard for the 2 chase focus cards will spawn quicker to help give survivors a little more counterplay during double team scenarios where they tend to be at their strongest. So that's the reason they changed the time of the chaser ones, so it gives survivors more counterplay. I couldn't remember what they said in here. I just remember they were talking about it because of the issues. But that'll do it for this video. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.